Chess fans around the world, Tata Still 2023 has not disappointed yet, and I don't think it will. Been exciting matches all around the board. Round 4, the world champion Magnus Carlsen versus Anish Giri. How do you think this game begins? E4 or D4? Masters, D4. We are not playing any games. We're coming out strategically and solid, says Anish Giri. Magnus comes out with the knight. And then we get a very Catalanish looking position, Queen's Gambit looking position. And Magnus plays the old school Bishop A6 straight out the gate, applying pressure. I love when the guys come out with the aggression. That means we're in for a great match. That means we're in for a match that is not going to end up with a draw. We're looking for a match that's going to be decisive. Anish Giri defends the pawn with the queen. Magnus hops back. Anish Giri, as we can see, the two light square bishops are battling for the long diagonal. Stay tuned for more on these bishops. Magnus strikes in the middle. Anish says, no, 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 I'm striking in the middle. Takes, takes, takes. At this point, Anish Giri is down a pawn. Castles. Magnus's king is still in the middle of the board. Anish Giri has a beautiful fortress here around his king. King looks completely safe. Magnus creating some room for his king. Bishop E7. And right away, Anish Giri brings that rook to the open file. Now, the one thing you got to know is instructionally, right? Sometimes you lose a pawn in the middle of the board or you lose a pawn somewhere. Well, if you got an active rook, guess what? That rook can now exploit that open file. And sometimes that works in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. You got to know how to use your pieces. Anish Giri develops the knight out. Queen comes in, adding a second attacker. We now have 2 on this guy, and he retreats. Magnus has to retreat. And Anish Giri, not playing any games, still pawn pushing. Also just creating space, right? Taking away space in the board. Magnus opens up a little bit. Again, Anish Giri pressing the issue, understanding that Magnus can't take, that would leave the queen hanging. And then here Magnus says, how about a queen trade? And Anish Giri gives us a think, and Anish Giri chooses the correct decision, and you'll see why. After takes, 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 look at the pressure on that bishop. Look at that pawn on the 6th rank. Anish Giri has now equalized the pawn advantage. As you can see from that move. Check first. Bring in the knight to liberate the bishop. You know, because if you leave the knight there and you liberate the bishop, well, this bishop's coming in and he's just taking your rook. So yeah, I liberate the knight there. And then Magnus comes in for the classic fork on the 2 rooks. And Anish Giri says, go ahead, try it. Unleashes. Remember I talked about these bishops earlier? Remember I said eventually these guys were going to face off? Well, they are facing off right now, folks. And Magnus says, no, no, no. Not going to let you get that tactic off with the knight. So we get the trade here. Rook vacates, attacks the pawn. Magnus protects the pawn, also circumventing the fork. The next knight comes into the game, adding a second attacker to this pawn. Giri pushes the pawn. The pawn's now on the 7th rank. That's one beast of a pawn. I mean, just basic tactics, maybe planting the bishop here. I don't know. Just thinking out loud. Knight comes in, attacks that rook. Rook avoids being taken. And right here, the computer asked for this knight to come back and attack this pawn. And then the game would continue like so, attacking this knight. Magnus does not play that. He plays the dubious knight d4. And Anish Giri has been attacking with these pawns all day. Just the jibbing and the jabbing. And Magnus makes the first critical mistake of the game. Again, the computer was asking for knight e5. Anish Giri retreats. You're going to see why it's a mistake in just a moment. It's not clear as of yet. Obviously, the knight has to retreat, otherwise it would have been taken. And now we start to see these pieces get active. This rook is now active. The bishop has won the day for the long diagonal. And now the last piece to come into the attack has now gotten active. You see why that last move was a mistake. Because now, danger, danger, danger. So, king has to liberate this undeveloped rook. Is just sitting in a corner all day. Didn't get any activity. Finally gets in the game. Bishop takes. Attacking both pieces here. Was there, did I miss it? Oh no, it's coming up. Okay. So then we have the knight back and then the bishop back. Computer was calling for knight e4. And after these trades, you can see how that looks for white. Looks really, really good. Two pieces in the center of the board. Knight's controlling some good squares here. Bishop's controlling some good squares here. Creating some space here. And this is how the position would unfold. According to that computer variation, instead, Anish Giri just plays a very sound but dubious bishop b4. And Magnus, just trying to create some space for his pieces, plays the final mistake of the game. As you can see here, he just wanted to get loose. He wanted to unpin that knight. That knight just was just, and then, you know, get the rook involved in the game. And Anish Giri just handles all of this like a pro. Check. King comes over. And then we have this beautiful move. This is a wonderful instructional move here. Because after it takes, you take with the rook. And that's a pinned knight. And as of move 35, Anish Giri resigned. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. Magnus Carlsen resigns. Real quick, I just want to show you this variation on move 11. Missed this one. If you take with the rook, let me show you what that looks like in the beginning of the game. So if you were to, this knight looks hanging. If you were to take it with the rook, can you find the tactic here? Pause the video. Can you find it? Can you find it? Can you find it? Obviously, the wonderful knight fork. Two pieces coming in. That would have been losing. These guys are no amateurs. But a very, very well fought match. Anish Giri has been Anish the Beast. 96% accuracy in this game. Only one dubious move. Amazing. Amazing round 4 win. I'm sure this is going to put him, or keep him, I should say, in the #1 position, probably fighting it. How does this look for him? Let's check the standings. I'll give you a standings update really fast. Yeah, that puts him out front. That puts Anish Giri out front with 3 out of 4 points. I know the rest of the pack, most of them drew today. We still have Absatorov and Parham going at it. Ding Loren and Prague going at it. Arjun Aragaisi and Vincent Keimer still going at it. So pending those games, Anish Giri right now is in first place. Oh, baby. Anish Giri was definitely on his master focus. If you guys want to go ahead and try out our herbal supplement designed for chess players, ultimate focus, concentration, memory, recall, flow, overall mood and energy, just send us an email after you get your subscription and tell us that you watched our YouTube channel, and we will go ahead and take $20 off of your full price subscription plan. So you get that thing somewhere around 49 bucks or so. And always, as always, remember to subscribe. Till the next time.
Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Time don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but open my eyes. You have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million bet.